The year was 1976. New York City was gripped with fear as a mysterious killer stalked the streets, leaving behind a trail of terror. He called himself the Son of Sam. But who was David Berkowitz, the man behind this chilling name? In this documentary, we unravel the dark life and crimes of a man who became one of America's most infamous serial killers. Prepare to dive into a tale of horror, psychology, and ultimate justice. David Richard Berkowitz was born on June 3, 1953, in Brooklyn, New York. Originally named Richard David Falco, his life began with heartbreak. His mother, Elizabeth Falco, gave him up for adoption shortly after his birth. For little David, rejection became a theme that would haunt his existence. Adopted by Nathan and Pearl Berkowitz, David grew up in what seemed like a stable, middle-class household. But behind closed doors, his mind was already unraveling. Early on, he exhibited disturbing behaviors, cruelty to animals, setting fires, and an obsessive fascination with death. What was happening in his mind? What could have prevented the storm that was to come? In 1967, tragedy struck. Pearl Berkowitz, the only maternal figure David knew, passed away from cancer. This loss sent David spiraling deeper into isolation. His schoolmates noticed a withdrawn and angry young man, one who struggled to connect with the world around him. By the 1970s, David had left behind his adoptive father and drifted aimlessly. After a brief and uneventful stint in the U.S. Army, he returned to New York City. It was then that the voices began. Voices, in his mind, in the air, or so he claimed. He believed demons were speaking to him, commanding him to kill. One voice, he said, came from a dog belonging to his neighbor Sam Carr. This demonic canine would become the foundation for the persona he later adopted, the Son of Sam. What happens when a troubled mind succumbs to its darkest impulses? For David Berkowitz, it meant transforming from an ordinary man into a ruthless killer. Between July 1976 and July 1977, New York City was plunged into a nightmare. David Berkowitz began his killing spree with a .44 caliber revolver, targeting unsuspecting young couples. His attacks were quick, brutal, and left entire neighborhoods paralyzed with fear. His first known attack occurred on July 29, 1976. Jody Valenti and Donna Loria were sitting in their car in the Bronx when David approached. In a matter of seconds, he fired several shots, killing Donna instantly. Jody survived, but the city's sense of safety was shattered. The killings continued, each more audacious than the last. Lovers' lanes became hunting grounds, and panic swept through New York. Headlines screamed, "Son of Sam strikes again." Families locked their doors and young couples feared the night. And once again. But Berkowitz wasn't just a killer. He was a showman. Leaving letters at crime scenes, he taunted the police and the public. In one chilling note, he wrote, "I am a monster. I am the Son of Sam." Son of Sam, the name that would forever haunt New York City. After a year of terror, Berkowitz made a mistake. A parking ticket. On August 10, 1977, police traced the ticket to his car parked near the scene of his final attack. When they arrived at his Yonkers apartment, Berkowitz greeted them with chilling calm. "Well, you got me," he said. The reign of the Son of Sam was over. The interrogation room revealed more than confessions. Berkowitz spun tales of demonic possession and otherworldly commands. Whether these claims were genuine or a ploy, they painted a picture of a deeply disturbed mind. In court, he pleaded guilty to all charges and was sentenced to 6 life terms. Justice, at least for the families, had been served. But for the city, the scars would remain. Behind bars, Berkowitz's story took an unexpected turn. He claimed to find religion, calling himself the Son of Hope. He expressed remorse and warned others against the path he'd taken. But can such a man truly change? Experts and survivors remain divided. Some see his transformation as genuine, others as another manipulation from a man who thrived on control and fear. David Berkowitz's life serves as a grim reminder of the capacity for human darkness and the questions of redemption. His story is one that will forever be etched in the annals of true crime history. David Berkowitz. A man who hid behind a facade of normalcy, only to unleash terror on an unsuspecting world. As we close this chapter, we're left to ponder the forces that drive such evil. Nature, nurture, or something beyond comprehension? Comprehension. Perhaps the answer lies not in understanding him, but in remembering the victims and ensuring their stories are never forgotten.